I'm excited. I'm feeling all of the things because the day has finally come that I launched my podcast. I am so excited. I'm so grateful. And I couldn't be more happy, honestly, because I've wanted to do this for so long, but never felt 100% truly aligned until right now. And the reason being is I almost felt like it was going to be a chore to have a podcast. And at this stage in my life, I've never felt more called to do this. So as you may know, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things, even a little bit on Twitter. And it almost felt a little bit overwhelming to say, how am I going to add a podcast into the mix? But I found a way to incorporate it super healthy and balanced. And I'm just so excited to continue to put more content out there to help as many people as possible. My original intent when I started all of my social media pages was to inspire at least one person a day. And based on the community that I've built, the DMs you guys send me, the results my clients get, I just feel so abundantly grateful that I've been able to do that. And I just want to continue. I just want to take this rocket ship to the moon. And that is really when Break Out of the Matrix was born. So Break Out of the Matrix is going to be a weekly show, and you can find it anywhere that you stream podcasts. And make sure to leave me a review because that would mean a lot to me to help me grow this podcast into what I'm manifesting it to be. And what you're going to really learn here is all about spirituality, personal development, how to break out of the matrix, and everything you need to know to manifest and create your dream life. So you're probably wondering by now, what is the matrix? Well, the matrix is your conditioned way of living, the living that's keeping you stuck. When you're living in your subconscious mind and you're letting your subconscious mind rule your life, well, that's when you're stuck in the matrix. You're living life on autopilot. You're working a job that maybe you don't love, or you're doing things to fit some mold that other people created for you. I'm here to tell you that there is another way. You don't just have to work a job that you hate. You don't have to be in a relationship that doesn't feel good. You don't have to build a business that feels out of alignment or has marketing that makes you feel sticky and unhappy and makes you question your worth every single day. My hope is to show you what's possible, to show you what's on the other side, to show you your true potential, because the truth is there's nothing about you that needs to change. All we're doing is bringing you back to who you truly are before the world told you who to be. And I'm so freaking excited to be on this journey together, to grow, to expand, to share with you parts of me that I've never shared anywhere else, to share with you parts of me that are raw, real, vulnerable, a lot of behind the scenes and where I came from and how this all happened and how I've been able to collapse time, because the truth is breaking out of the matrix is teaching you how to collapse time and quantum leap into the person that you desire to be. I could sit here and tell you all about my strategy, what I did day to day, the goals that I set for myself, but I don't believe that would get you to where you want to be. But what would get you to where you want to be is teaching you how to collapse time, how to step into your power, how to embody your truth, how to teach you all about how to get back to who you are deep down inside. Listen to your intuition, and I'll let the universe handle the rest. I'll let the universe collapse time for you. I'll let the universe bring you into quantum expansion, because I truly believe in that, and I truly believe that is what got me to where I am today. Just 2 years ago, I was $25,000 in debt. I was single, I was lonely, I was living in my childhood bedroom trying to side hustle my way to success. Today, I am a multiple six-figure online digital CEO, manifestation coach, spiritual entrepreneur. I am in the healthiest, happiest, most loving relationship I've ever been in my life. I feel more abundant than I've ever felt. I travel the world. I am healthy. So many amazing things that I would have never thought was possible in such a short amount of time. And I'm here to teach you and show you and guide you and expand what you believe is possible, because the truth is anything is possible. You can be whoever you want to be, but you first have to decide that you're wealthy within before you're wealthy on the outside. You have to create an internal change, and that's everything that we're going to be talking about on this podcast. So for the very first episode, I wanted to make it extra special and share all about my story with you in a raw, real, and vulnerable way like I never have before. So my spiritual journey really started in 2019, and not many people know this, but this is when I lived in Italy for 4 months. I lived in Florence, Italy. I was studying abroad there, and it completely widened my perspective of the world. I realized that there's so much more to life than just working until burnout and hustling and living in the hustle and bustle of New York City, because that is what my perception of life was post-graduation up until I studied abroad. I met backpackers, I met digital nomads, I met people who were studying abroad, people who were just living life and enjoying the food and the culture. And the Italian culture is amazing. Like, they just enjoy romance and living life to the fullest and spending time with family and prioritizing stuff that actually matters, like quality of life. And they aren't in the hustle mode and the hustle and bustle. And it really started to expand my mind. So when I got back that summer, I had my first summer internship where I was working, which was going to end up being the job that I had on Wall Street post-graduation. So I interned there in hopes of getting a job. I ended up getting the job. And I don't regret anything in my life, especially not this experience, because through this experience is how I discovered manifestation. So on my first day of work, they unexpectedly changed me to another office. And when I moved to that other office, I met this guy who introduced me to the book, The Secret. And as you guys may know, that is my favorite book. That is how my journey started. And when he introduced me to this book, I was taken back a little bit. I didn't read the book at first. And then once the end of the summer came and I realized that I had to return the book to him, I said, okay, let me give it a go. And I was obsessed. So I went out and got the book myself once the summer was over, and I manifested my first unexpected check in the mail for $5,000. That totally blew my mind. That totally just opened my eyes to what was possible. So once I manifested that, I said, imagine what else I can do. What else can I manifest? So now I graduated college and I was about to start my first full-time job. And this was January of 2020. I'd also found out that I was just $25,000 in debt from student loans. And I was only making about $300 a week when I first started, because it was a part-time job at this company, because I really just wanted to get my foot in the door. I wanted to build my resume and I wanted to start before everyone else was going to start in the summer. So at that time, I was also having some health issues. I was also going through some stuff emotionally. I had just gotten out of a relationship that was over 4 years, and I was really heartbroken. I was really heartbroken, not just from my romantic relationships, but from things going on in my friendships as well. I was bullied. I was hurt. I was traumatized. I went through some really terrible experiences in the prior few years. And I just kind of got to this point where I was like, I'm ready to heal. Like, I am ready to give everything to myself. I'm ready to show up as the best version of me. And that's going to first start with doing this deep inner healing. And my courses and my programs are all based on this period in my life, because I realized how much courses and books and podcasts and everything helped me in my journey, helped me shift my identity. And that's what I do. So yes, I'm a manifestation coach. Yes, I teach people about manifestation, but that's more of the end result. What we really do is some deep inner healing and identity work. And that's exactly what I did in January 2020. So I honestly did this like cleanup of my life. That's how I think of it. So I healed my relationship to self so that I could attract in my dream life partner. So I was reading books. One of my favorite books is called Calling in the One, and that was all about relationships and how to attract in your life partner. And I didn't know when he was going to come, but I knew that he was going to come. Like, I felt his energy and I felt his presence, and I said, he's on his way to me. And the first step in manifesting him is doing this work. So I was reading books, I was journaling, I started my own meditation practice, I was using manifestation. And then within 6 months, I paid off my debt, $25,000 worth of debt. So when COVID hit and my job became fully remote, I really looked at this as a massive opportunity. I said to myself, wow, like, I can work from home. I can hustle my side hustles in the morning and at night. So originally when I first started my job, I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, working out from 5 to 6, getting on a train by 7 and getting into the city by 8:30, walk 20 blocks, get to my job by 9. It was freaking chaos. I remember the first week that I started working, I literally came home that Friday night and crashed at 7 p.m. and woke up at 11 a.m. the next day. I don't even know the last time I slept in until 11 a.m. I naturally wake up at like 6 a.m. So that was eye-opening. And I remember feeling like I had to cram everything for the weekend. And I was like, how am I going to get everything done? Grocery shopping, laundry, hanging out with friends. Like, how am I going to do all these things? So COVID was almost a blessing in disguise for me because I got this opportunity to explore what I wanted out of life, to explore business ventures, to explore paying off my debt, to explore relationships and dating and all these things. So once I paid off my debt, I felt like the world was my oyster. I had this massive opportunity to do anything I wanted. I had a job to rely on. I could explore my side hustles in the morning and the night. I was dating. I was on dating apps. I went on some really bad dates. I went on some really good dates. I was really in this phase of just exploring life and adventuring and seeing where it takes me. And it was almost one of the best times of my life because at that time I'd also just invested in my first course ever, which was a $300 Grant Cardone real estate investing course. And I remember so many people being like, why did you buy that? Why did you spend your money on that? Blah, blah, blah. And it was actually the most liberating feeling to know that I invested in my personal growth for the first time. I invested in myself, and it was actually right before I paid off my debt. So I was like, I might have to take a step backwards to move a step forwards, but that's okay. And then I paid off my debt. I was working through the course. I was dating, like all these amazing things. And simultaneously, I reconnected with an old guy friend that I met in college, and we were friends like all throughout college. And we kind of lost touch like once graduation. But once I was doing this course, I was realizing my potential. So I started posting my content on social media. I started sharing about manifestation, started sharing about my journey, and I lost a lot of followers, people who didn't really resonate with what I was talking about, but I also gained a ton of followers and people that I reconnected with a lot of people that were like, Julia, I love what you're posting. It's helping me so much. I'm learning how to manifest. And this specific guy friend was reaching out to me and was like, hey, I absolutely like admire what you're doing on social media. That's so brave of you to just show up and to post your content. And I love it. Like, I fully support you. And it was almost a little bit random because I don't have a lot of guys in my community, and there are some who I love you and I adore you and I appreciate you, but most of my community is women. So to see guys really resonating with my content was amazing. And I know you might be thinking like, no, Julia, he's flirting with you. And no, truthfully, it was very platonic. Like, it was seriously like a friendship. And at that point, like I said, I was still dating, and around November of that year, I went out to dinner with one of my friends, and my friend said to me, and I said to her, I was like, I'm so fed up with dating. I'm tired of these dating apps. I'm just going to meet my person when I move to the city next year, because now I was debt free. I was saving. I knew I was going to move in the next year. And she said to me, she's like, Julia, what would Aaron say? So one of our favorite spiritual influencers is Aaron Dowdy. We love him so much. And she was like, Aaron would tell you that you're blocking your abundance. You're setting limits for yourself. And I said, you know what, Brittany, you're right. So after our dinner, I went home and I journaled about it. I'm going to show you guys this journal one day because it's just such a powerful part of my story. And it's so crazy how my entire world shifted when I shifted my energy. I shifted my identity. I shifted my beliefs. So I went home and I said, universe, I'm open. I'm ready. God, bring me my person in divine timing. I trust you. I know that it's all working out for me. And forget everything that I said. I'm ready whenever you want to deliver him. I believe you. I trust in you. And I promise I will do what you say. Show me the way. And this was powerful because then at that time, I'd also invested in another course to become a social media manager because I really loved social media. I always had social media clients on the side, mostly just like family and friends. I would run their social media. They would pay me on a retainer each month, and I wanted to grow that business. I thought that was going to be my ticket to success. I thought running my own social media management business was going to give me my ticket to freedom. And it's interesting because it obviously didn't work out that way, but the way that it worked out, I had to go through these steps to get me to where I am today. So if you're in a place in your life where you feel like what I'm doing today might not be what I'm going to do tomorrow or in a year or in the next 5 years, just trust the path that you're on. Like I said, I started out at an internship on Wall Street where I discovered manifestation. Then it led to a full-time job. And then I thought I was going to be a social media manager, a digital CEO. Then I thought that I was going to do all these other things that didn't end up happening, but it was exactly the perfect and divine timing to get me to where I am today. So once I was taking that course, I was also connecting with this friend about the course, and we were talking about it, and I was telling him what I was learning because he wanted to grow his social media and all this stuff. So it's all connected. Then we started talking almost every single day. And on New Year's Eve, we FaceTime. So that year on New Year's, I wanted a clean slate. I had spent the entire year on this healing journey, getting to know myself, diving deeper into who I am and embodiment and my spiritual practice. I was getting into working out. Was living in my dream body. Just so many amazing things happened in 2020 for me. And that's when I realized that I was really starting to fall for this guy. So he said to me, he's like, you know what, Julia, do you want to FaceTime? I'm also staying in for New Year's. And I said, sure. And I, was more at this point, friendly with him, but I think subconsciously I knew that I was into him. So we were on FaceTime, and that was the first time that I ever felt like I truly collapsed time, because our 4-hour FaceTime felt like 5 minutes. It was only when I looked up on my TV screen that I saw a butterfly on the screen. And I vividly remember this because earlier that year, I had declared my sign as a butterfly. So I learned about this through the book, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. And what I learned is that we can declare some object, some animal, some things, even a song or a flower as our spiritual sign. And we can ask the universe to show us our sign when we're moving in the right direction. So I declared a butterfly as my spiritual sign. And I remember I used to get really frustrated. I was like, I'm going on these dates, I'm doing the things, I'm journaling, I'm meditating, blah, 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 blah. Nothing's happening for me. And why aren't I seeing my sign? And once I fully detached, once I fully released, once I opened my heart and my mind to the universe to say, universe, show me the way, is when he delivered, when my manifestation came into fruition. So we were on FaceTime and I saw this butterfly, and my ego tried to protect me. My ego tried to protect me. My subconscious tried to protect me and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. This guy is just your friend. This is not how it's supposed to work out. This is not what you planned for, because our ego and our subconscious is always trying to keep us safe. And what I learned is that sometimes you have to ignore that noise, and you have to learn when to differentiate between intuition and ego. My ego was loud. My ego was in my face. My ego was scared and fearful and anxious. And my intuition was telling me, follow the feeling. So that was one of the first times where I really didn't listen to my ego. I didn't listen to that subconscious feeling of keep Julia safe, keep you safe, because that's all your ego and your subconscious wants for you. So I said, let me follow the feeling. I didn't tell anyone about this, including him. He would have been like, you crazy spiritual weirdo hippie. And I didn't tell him because I didn't want anything to really mess with this energy. I wanted to really be so just like me and the universe about this. So by this point in time, we had the FaceTime, and it's something I'll never forget. It was on New Year's. It was a new beginning, and now that's such a special day for us both. As you can guess, he is my boyfriend. This is my boyfriend that I have been talking about, and he asked to take me out on Valentine's Day. We went out. He asked me to be his girlfriend, and we've been dating ever since. So now it's 2021, and that January I actually had invested in another course. So the first time I had invested into a high ticket program, and it was an e-commerce course. So it was about how to learn how to build a drop shipping store. I ended up becoming really good friends with the course creator. She's amazing and one of my amazing friends now. I met really amazing people through it, other entrepreneurs, and it really opened my eyes to the laptop lifestyle. It opened my eyes to how people were making money online, to how people were living their dream life and traveling the world. And this is what really expanded my perspective. And I invested $2,000 into that course because I was like, I know that this is going to be a massive breakthrough for me. And I was connecting with my now boyfriend about it, and he was guiding me through it because he's done e-commerce and he's been in that space before. So it just, like I said, it all unfolds and happens in perfect and divine timing. So we started dating, and I'm going to leave that story a little hush-hush for now because I'm actually going to be doing a boyfriend reveal soon, which is something that I'm so excited about because it's something that I've kept private for a very long time. It's been super sacred to me, and I'm just really excited to get to share this part of my life with you because I realize how much of my love life actually bleeds into my business, my personal life, and how it's all connected. And I want to help guide you through that. I want to help guide you through showing you that it's all connected and that everything's important. The foods you eat, the relationships you have, the time you wake up, the time you go to sleep, the things that you do on your free time, how it's all connected and how it's actually getting you to your dream life, and how your dream life is so much more about this holistic picture rather than feeling like everything is separated. It's all connected. So once we started dating, it's almost like my life just skyrocketed. So by that April, I moved into my dream New York City apartment where I'm living now. Then by June 2021, I quit my job. The stars aligned. I knew it was the right timing, and it was scary. It was stretchy. I cried. I broke down in front of my boss and all the things. And I just said to myself, it just feels right. It just feels like the right thing to do. And I trust myself. That was the first time I trusted me. I leaned in. I leaned within. I trusted myself to know that I was going all in on my business and to know that there was no plan B. I knew that my plan to build my business was going to work. Even if it took a lot of ups and downs, I knew in the end it was all going to be okay. By July 2021, I built my first course and I sold it. I maybe had like 2 or 3 people sign up, but it was just so amazing to show people what was possible to impact. I was still doing coaching at that point. Earlier that year is when I started coaching and sharing more about my manifestation journey. Clients, followers, people were getting results. I built my community to over 100,000 people among Instagram and TikTok. I had an email list of 20,000 people, like just so many different things that it was all happening so fast. And this is what I mean when I say I collapsed time, I quantum leaped. It's like I got into this relationship, I moved to New York City, my social media accounts blew up, and then everything just started happening for me. And it's like, once I created an internal shift within myself, my external reality reflected that. You see, ultimately, when you create a change within, your reality is going to reflect. That's the law of attraction. And that's what I teach people every single day, is that like attracts like. So you don't attract what you want, but you attract what you are. So if there's something that you don't like, you have to make a change. That was like me the entire year of 2020. It was a year of change. It was a year of expansion. It was a year of exploration. By 2021 was a year of quantum leaps. And did I think that going from real estate investing to social media management to drop shipping would lead me to become a manifestation coach? No. But what I did learn through my experience is to follow the signs, to follow the feeling, to follow all the steps because they're perfectly in place. By the time that I left my job, I had built my business up to 6 figures within 6 months. Now at the recording of this podcast, we're already hit multiple 6 figures in my business. And I'm just so freaking grateful and blessed and excited, and just so excited of where this is to go. So my first year in business was a lot of exploration, the same way that it was in my personal life. How when I decided and I set a potent intention to create a life for myself that was worth living, a life that didn't feel like I was a robot, a life that didn't feel like I was living on autopilot, it took a year of exploration. So that was my year last year, a year of exploration. This year is about expansion, is about structure, is about growth. So last year was really showing myself what was possible, hitting 6 figures, now multiple 6 figures, bringing this business to the moon. I just hired my first team member, like just so many amazing things. And after sharing more about this story with you all and really opening up about it, it's so obvious that we are always exactly where we're supposed to be. If I didn't start out where I did, I would never be where I am today. So if you're in a place in your life where you're feeling like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? What does this have to do with the greater, bigger picture? I'm here to tell you that there is so much more on the other side. And one of my favorite quotes is, God's laughing while we're making plans, because I was making plans to be the #1 woman financial advisor in New York City just 2 years ago. Now I'm here on a mission to impact millions of people around the world through my content, hundreds of thousands of people through my courses. Like, this is my my life, like my life's purpose. And I would have never got to where I am if I didn't go through all the motions. So by sharing this story with you all and sharing more about my journey and what got me here today is just reminding me that you're on the right path. And I wish that if I could go talk to myself in 2020 when I was having crippling anxiety, staying up at night because I didn't know how I was going to pay off my debt because I was only earning $300 a week and I was $25,000 in debt, I would go back and give her the biggest hug and say, it's all working out for you. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Just keep following your intuition. Keep taking action when it's scary. Nothing in my life came from me feeling ready. Nothing in my life came from me feeling like now is the right time. Everything in my life came from me believing in my ability to succeed. I don't know if I would say I necessarily believed in every single thing that I did and I thought it was going to be a massive success, but I would say that I had this unwavering belief in myself that the only way was for it to work out. And when you have this unwavering faith, you have this unwavering belief in yourself, that's when manifestation occurs. When you are so fully confident in it happening that you can fully detach and let go of the how because you know and you trust that it's on its way to you. And that's what it means to break out of the matrix. It means to break out of your comfort zone. It means to break out of what you think and what you feel is right and actually to follow that inner voice, to follow that intuition. People are always wondering how you differentiate the intuition from the ego. Well, the ego is loud. The ego is in your face. The ego is making you feel anxious and scared. Your intuition is that quiet little voice, that little voice that you hear beyond the noise, that little voice that feels good, that guides you home. So if something comes up abruptly in your life, something comes up and it's loud and it's noisy and it's anxiety ridden, that's probably your ego. When something comes up and it's coming up over and over again in this quiet and subtle way, that's your intuition. Your intuition is guiding you to your highest path. And honestly, the best way for you to learn to differentiate from your intuition, your ego, is to just try it. There's so many times where I mistaked my ego for intuition and I learned by doing. And that is really the moral of this whole podcast. The moral of this whole story is you have to start before you're ready. If you don't start before you're ready, you're always going to feel stuck and the timing will never be right? What about people that open businesses right as the pandemic started, in-person businesses? What about people who decide to study abroad and it ended up being the year the pandemic hit? What about people who jumped into a relationship and was like, this is the right person for me, and then they decided that they changed and they evolved and that wasn't actually their person? Making mistakes is inevitable. Making mistakes is a part of life. But what you have to learn to do is to learn how to bounce back, and rather than look at them as failures, look at them as stepping stones. So if you're in a place in your life where you're ready to step into massive abundance, if you're ready to step into what is possible for you, if you're ready to step into your highest self, I first invite you to look within and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I before the world told me who to be? That is exactly the point at which my journey started. When I was heartbroken, I barely had any friends. I was about to start a job in big New York City. I just asked myself, who am I? And I remember sitting in so much discomfort with that prompt because I had no idea who the hell I was. I was living so far outside of myself to please everybody else, to put on this picture that I have a great resume, I have a great job, I have all these amazing things on pen and paper. But when I sit down and I ask myself, who am I didn't even know what to say. I literally froze with my pen and paper because I didn't know what to write. So if you're on this journey of growth and self-discovery and expansion and you're ready to start living as who you truly are, sit with that. Sit with that in meditation, in visualization. Sit with who are you? Sit with those feelings, those moments of who am I? What do you love to do? What are your passions? What are the things that light you up? You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of your story. And the more that you're living in the subconscious, you're living in the ego, you're living on autopilot, the longer you're going to stay stuck. Staying stuck is an easy answer. Go deeper. Ask yourself, What's keeping me here? Why aren't I moving forward? Why am I procrastinating? What is the discomfort? That first year when I decided to step into my most truest, abundant, happiest, loving self is when I went on this journey of self-discovery. Ultimately, that is where this all starts. And that is why I started this with my story, to show you that I'm no different than you. The only thing that I did differently is that I took action before I felt ready, that I expanded my knowledge. I invested in courses, I invested in coaches, I invested in books, I invested in myself. Even when I didn't have money, even when I was $25,000 in debt, I bought books, I went on walks, I took care of my health. There are so many ways. Stop making excuses and start showing up for yourself. Start believing in yourself the same way you believe in other people. I used to speak to myself, and sometimes I still do this, like a friend. What would I tell my friend if she was going through this right now? Speak to yourself like that. And remember that you are capable of doing amazing things. The only thing holding you back is you and your limiting beliefs. How can you break free from that? You have to have an unwavering belief in yourself. And that first starts with discovering who you truly are. What are your passions? What are your strengths? Where can you use support? Who can you lean on? Get to know yourself and watch. You are going to find so much magic the same way that I did when, like I said, just 2 years ago, I was $25K in debt. I was single. I was all these things that, not that I didn't like about myself, but all these things that felt like I was living as someone that was not me. That was not me and who I truly am deep down inside. And when I made this oath to myself to become me, to circle back to me, to realign to who I truly am, that's when I quantum leaped. That's when time collapsed. That's when the magic and the expansion occurred in my life. This was so amazing. I honestly recorded this podcast like 3 times, so I'm so excited that I got through it and I just showed up exactly as I am, and that's what I encourage you to do. And I know one day I'm going to look back at this and be like, oh my God, that was my first episode ever. And I'm just excited for the growth and the expansion that's going to come from this. I'm excited for all of this. I'm excited for showing you guys so much more, talking with you deeper about topics, and talking all about my journey and how this can help you and how you can grow and how you can manifest your dream life. Because remember, your dream life is unique to you, and there's no reason why right now you can't make an oath to yourself to start living your dream life. It is all possible for you. I believe in you, but ultimately it's time that you start believing in you. It's time that you develop this unwavering faith and belief in yourself that this is going to happen no matter what. Your success is inevitable, okay? So I love you guys so much. I would appreciate you so much if you could leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. That would mean a lot to me and help me grow and expand this podcast. Share it with a friend. Share it with somebody that you think can find helpful, whether they're at the gym, they're driving, they're on a walk. Share this with somebody that you know will inspire, because ultimately this is how we grow. This is how we expand. This is how we build community. And I'm so beyond excited for this journey together. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.